At the end of the day, it's just my opinion, by the way. Some people may view it a little differently. Results may vary. But all society is ingratiation. Think about it. I mean, it's ingratiation when I'm given an opportunity. It's could it be I don't know. I mean, is it ingratiation if I'm able to make it through one side or the other of an educational institution with something to show for it? Is it ingratiation when people come to buy from me? I mean, really, it's just kind of, I began to kind of think that it's just kind of if people are just generally likable, and that's kind of who makes it. It's all social proof. It's all social. It's it's cancel culture, boycotts, not making anybody mad so I don't get canceled, or recognizing the social infrastructure of who the leadership of a community is so I don't get canceled or turned against, which really kind of doesn't matter, because if they want me gone anyway and they view me as competition anyway, they're going to figure out a way to institute the cancel culture thing. But at the end of the day, it's just ingratiation. And that's why I like assets, because stocks, things like that, pay dividends. Nobody comes along and says that, we don't like what he said this month and we're going to take his dividend away, or we don't like what he said this month and his cryptocurrency won't go up, or we don't like what he said today, blah, blah, blah. And none of that's financial advice. It's just what I prefer. That's why I like assets, because the value, at the end of the day, it's value. It isn't somebody determining whether I can or can't have a, this or that, or an opportunity or a chance at whatever. So that's why I like to hold assets. But really, if you think about it, it is just ingratiation. It's just whether a person wants to be given a chance. And I've experienced that quite a few times in my life. And some very pivotal roles, And is it because, very pivotal moments, was it because maybe I had a bad interview or I didn't feel good, or the interviewer had a bad interview and didn't feel good? Or maybe I didn't remember everything on the test that particular morning, that earlier that night I might have remembered everything. Yet, an instructor who works with the subject every day, who knows the stuff every day, who stands in front of people and preaches it to them every day, why are they I don't know. It's like for whatever reason they can teach me. They work with it every day. They've memorized it, but yet I get one chance to memorize it. I get one chance to study it. And then after I take the test and satisfactorily pass the test, am I allowed to go in with a piece of paper and into the world, and I've decided that I'm educated and I'll always remember it? I won't always remember it. I'll remember something else about 2 minutes later, some other subject I'll take. So, that's, to me, I just think society's ingratiation. And I think at the end of the day, it's whether people like me and people, agree with me, or there's a mystique about me that they like, or there's something about me that makes them want to buy from me. And I understand when you buy something from somebody and it feels good if they have their values the same as mine. I understand how that feels. That feels good. But that's what I think a lot of it is. It's like, these are some pretty cool knives, but, or these are some pretty cool widgets, but, or this is a pretty cool idea, but there's something about the way he thinks different than me that I don't like, or something about the way he looks that I don't like, or I don't like the way he speaks. And, and sometimes it's Lord of the Flies. It's funny when we saw Lord of the Flies at school, at high school, and you think about it, everybody got to be the part of the piggy. And I forgot his name. I forgot the kid's name, but he would call off who the piggy was, and everybody would go in, and they wouldn't actually stab him with sticks, but they would act like they're stabbing him with sticks, and they'd chase him around the campfire. And then it became like a ritual in the evening. But he never called himself off as the piggy. he called off, so-and-so as the piggy, or this person's the piggy, that person's the piggy, and the rest of the kids would chase him around the campfire and start poking him with sticks. And it, but he was never the piggy. You know what I'm saying? And it was kind of weird how that all worked. And I remember this one time when I was in school. This is kind of stupid to be kicking around a subject in school, but they decided to do a social experiment where I actually had kind of made it into a popular clique at the time. I've kind of, and you think about it, once you make your way into a popular clique, it kind of feels good. It's like, wow, I made my little ingratiation accomplishment, and I'm in this little group now, and I'm kind of accepted, and I have a lot of good social proof going on, and people are liking me. And the teacher decided to go ahead and take the usual groups that we sat with, because I think she kind of picked up on this, on me moving into a different group of people. And so she decided to go ahead and change up different groups of people where different people were put out. And I go over to them and talk to them, and they play the part. They totally play the part where the teacher said. They like they're acting like they kicked me out of the group. Then a couple hours later, another one would be kicked out of the group. And this was there to decide, to show people how it feels to be kicked out of a certain group. And it's like, you know what? It's like, here I go from being, like, I guess you could say, unpopular, to kind of, ingratiating myself into this clique and becoming their friends, to where she decides to set up an experiment. And of course, now they're participating in the experiment. They're the ones that are basically kicking people out of their group every hour and acting like they don't recognize them. And it's like, I should have probably went to the school board over that. People go to the school board over stuff all the time. I should have probably went to the school board and say, hey, you know what? This is BS. And maybe there was, I don't know if there's certain things that she didn't like and she just decided to implement this, but I'd like to know if she has that same experiment, from year to year. Are we just the only ones that she decided to spring that on? That's what I wanted to know. I probably should have went to the school board and reported her. I probably should have. But I just think, whatever, this is just some dumb thing she had, and I just did it, and the next day I went on with my life, because in the real world, it isn't. The real world it is and it isn't, kind of like school. But I don't know. It's just thought it was kind of weird. It's like, yeah, your actual group that you're hanging around, the kids you're sitting with, they're gonna pretend like you don't. They're gonna for 2 hours, they're gonna pretend like you don't exist. And the next couple hours later, someone else will pretend like the next guy doesn't exist. And so on. And yeah, maybe I did the experiment too. But it's like, it's just like, I don't know what the point is behind that. It's not going to change anything. Is it going to drive home the point to me? No, because I already was unpopular and I'd gotten into a popular group. And all of a sudden the teacher comes by and goes, oh, guess what? For experimental purposes, you're not popular anymore. It's pretty crazy. But that's what I think a lot of it is. A lot of it is ingratiation. I think a lot of it is favoritism on a certain level. A lot of it is whether or not people like me well enough to give me something. And I may be a hard hitter. I may be a hard worker, but at the end of the day, we're back to that 80-20 rule. They like me because I'm part of the 20%. Remember my last job, my dad was telling me how it was wrong that I'm doing all this work. And I said, yeah, but you don't understand. That's why they like me. They like me because I am a hard worker. They like it because I do hit it hard. They like me because I am always productive. That's why they like me, and that's why I got the job. And it felt kind of good that I was the best. But then I went under scene, well, yeah, 80% of the people, he's trying to point that out to me. Hey, you got 80% of the people around you who may or may not be doing something, or they're doing something that's not dirty. It's not dirty jobs like you got. It ain't fair. And so I'm kind of like going, well, yeah, now that I think about it, it wasn't really that fair, was it? Other people could have had it, I remember one time, I was doing this job that required 2 people, and they took 2 people. I said, hey, can you just stand there for a minute and kind of watch this while I'm away there? And I said, no. And the boss literally came up and said, no, he doesn't get any help. He doesn't need any help. Go over there. Or another time, I was doing something that I don't want to explain it, but it was hazardous. I needed to clear it. I had to clear this thing to make it safe. And they didn't give me a person there to help me clear it out. All right. And, it was like, whatever. But that's what a lot of it is. A lot of it is, it's the cool factor. Am I cool? Like, oh well, he's cool. He's cool. We'll just kind of skate him through. Remember, there was a video by a millennial thinker, and I'm not really sympathetic to millennials at all. It's just the G. Does that? Oh, really? You're not? How? Oh, well, anyway, he did this video where all the memes were in basic training, and the boomer meme, the old man meme, comes through, and he was the drill sergeant. So he comes through giving everybody a hard time, and then he goes up to the Chad meme that's in the corner. You can kind of hear him while what's his name was thinking. I forgot the name of the main character in the memes, but the DI's over there talking to Chad. You can hear the DI kind of saying in the background to the Chad that, oh well, yeah, you probably don't even have to do all this. We could just go ahead and make you this, and it shows the DI kind of explaining that in some ways society kind of lets the confident skate through. It's kind of like, well, this person's confident, and I really don't feel like pushing the program on them and breaking them. But those other guys will put up with what I do, so I'll just go ahead and try to break them all day. When there's someone who's truly strong, I'm not going to try to break them, and we'll just kind of let them go through it. Now, I'm not saying that the Marine will make everybody go through their program, but it's just kind of interesting how they're saying that some things, they let the confident kind of skate through and give it up easy to them, and to where, somebody who's maybe a little less confident, they'll just keep breaking them until, and actually not even let their confidence develop. They'll say, well, we're trying to build confidence. Yeah, okay, well, I don't know. I just think a lot of it's ingratiation, and that's why I favor things like assets of value, and I favor things like the financial system, because nobody comes along and decides to take away my Procter & Gamble or my Pepsi or my Berkshire Hathaway. Nobody decides that. Nobody says, oh, we don't like you, we're gonna take away your Berkshire Hathaway. Or no, it's in my account. It's held by a third party. No, I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm speaking too soon here, but right now nobody touches that stuff. Nobody touches my things of value. And so I don't know. That's why I prefer certain things, and that's why to me business can be such a dicey proposition, because here I'm making this product that people will buy anymore. I mean, you think about it, how many people really need a knife? I mean, I can go online and buy a cheap knife for $30. Why does anybody need to go buy a knife from me from, say, $70 to $100, $120? And some people charge more. Why do people need to buy from me? And maybe it's because some of the reason why they're buying from me is because they may just like me, and they like the knife, and that's why I know I'm not very liked. I never was very liked. I mean, people liked me, but I wasn't like one of those popular liked people. And so that's why I price my products competitively, because I'm selling the product. I want it about the product. I don't want it about me. I want to get the eyes away from me and onto the product. I want to make a product that's viable, that people appreciate. So anyway, don't worry about the haters. Just let the haters worry about you.